All right. We got her. I get to look at ourselves being awkward here.
At a small delay.
Let's get her done.
This is the Okayest Hunter podcast. Never pass on shooter bucks, because that's just meat in the freezer. It's your tag, you hunt how you want. This is Okayest Hunter.
Well, welcome back to the Okayest Hunter podcast. I'm Eric.
I'm Matt.
We got Matt in the house today. This is 86 proof, batch 3, bottle number 6321. Great Jones straight bourbon whiskey from New York.
Great Scott.
This came from our podcast listener, Calder, who, if you listen to this podcast long enough, you've probably heard Calder call into the show. He drove all the way from New York to Horicon, Wisconsin.
To hang out with us?
To hang out at the Foam Fest shoot. And he brought not one, but 2 bourbons. Maybe we should open this one first. It's a tiny little bottle. Hartman's Distilling Co. Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This one is 71 proof, batch 74. Pretty neat. So we're drinking that tonight. Thanks, Calder. And thanks for making the trip with your family. That's you're a good man. It's a big journey with a family.
It was awesome though. Great to meet him in person.
I agree. Yeah, it was cool. All of a sudden, I think Derek's like, dude, guess who this is? I was like, who is it? He's like, Calder. I was like, oh my God, no, I was not prepared for that response about crap my pants. Anyway, we're brought to you by Nosler. Nosler was a big part of the Foam Fest shoot because they gave away a ton of ammo and a lot of really nice hats for everybody. So thank you, Nosler, for like helping support what we got going on. I did hear some feedback, positive feedback that usually that means negative. Oh, some feedback for you. That, who was it? Bryce? No, not Bryce. What was it? Dylan. His name was Dylan. I think it was Dylan. He said, he's like, dude, I used the Nosler for my rifle season last year. I think he's shooting a Henry rifle. And he's like, I won it from Foam Fest. I hope I win again. And he did.
Oh, really?
So he's like, this is amazing. So he's like pretty jacked about it. But shout out to everyone that came to the event. And shout out to the partners, of course. Gerber had a huge hand that event. Everyone walked through that pre-register got a goodie bag. Or I think everyone got a goodie bag, but
I think Gerber was in every goodie bag.
Yeah, that's true. They were in every goodie bag, but some people got shirts and coffee tumblers too. So big thanks to BHA Wisconsin for helping us like host the event. They put a lot of work in on their end. And Bear Archery, we gave away 2 Bear bows, the Cruiser and the Legit.
Correct.
Both RTHs ready to hunt. So out of the box, you can let her rip, potato chip, and like get her done. That's pretty cool. I think one guy and his son won the Legit. And then what had happened is Justin with Gerber
he
was
won.
drawn for the other bow, and he decided to put it back into the raffle drawing.
Yep.
Because he's like, I can't.
Well, he had the most average score.
Yeah, he did. That's how he did it. So we did the average. He hit it right in the nail on the head. It was like 260 something, 264, 63.
Give or take, yeah.
Right in there. I think the highest score that I saw was like 320 something.
That was in the stack I was counting.
I was like, well, 2 people did really well. Like mid 300s. Buddy that I work with, he did good. He got like 296. How did you do? You didn't shoot, did you?
No.
Yeah, I didn't shoot either. Yeah, unfortunately, I wanted to. Stupid rain.
We shot a little bit afterwards.
Yeah, we were taking some trick shots, that 60-yard trick shots through steel and that wolf with the missing core.
Yeah, the heart or apple, whatever it was hanging in there.
I think it was like an apple, but I think they were calling it the heart or the apple. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was a real apple, so I was disappointed the first time we hit it.
I thought it
did
explode.
explode.
Pretty cool. But yeah, you hit it, and Derek did?
Yep.
Was that it? Did anyone else hit the apple? I don't think I did. I made it through the core, but I didn't hit the apple.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I made it through the steel target on my first shot.
That's impressive. Calder didn't.
He destroyed it.
Yeah, that was a good time. I mean, I want to say I made a post about this too to my personal page or whatever, but the fact that we had someone drive all the way from New York is a big deal, I think. We had 2 guys that I'm aware of who had never been to an archery shoot in their life. I think Rusty and your father-in-law
Brian. Yep.
hunted with one of them, if not both.
Both. Yep.
Which is really great that they took him under their wing because 2 brand new people hunting with 2 people that are really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
That's like great advice too. Like bouncing questions off each other.
Yeah. I mean, if I were new, I'd be really intimidated to do that. But like, I think your father-in-law and Rusty did a really great job. Just like, yeah, this is what we do. It's fine. I mean, I don't think they gave him too much shit.
I didn't hear that they did.
Yeah.
So it was all good. That was a good time. Did the kids shed hunt again? There's like, I feel like there's like 400 kids. You look and there's just a bunch of ants running around everywhere.
That was the fastest they found the antlers ever.
Sub 5 minutes. And all those antlers were found.
Yeah. Usually we're like trying to find 2 at the end for like an hour. And that did not happen this time. I was like, man, I wonder if we're going to find more.
We found 2 deadheads.
Yeah. Hey, Derek brought 25, but for some reason we have 28 in the bin.
One day that'll happen. That'll be pretty cool.
That would be pretty great. No, but it was good. Horicon Marsh, thank you to those guys for hosting. The president of the org was there, cooking up burgers and brats for everybody. And then the other couple that's usually there helping us with that stuff, their son was there, so he was tending bar, and there was a lot of people. There was like 60 some odd people there.
Yeah.
So
what was it last year? Pretty close.
Really close. But if you count like all of us and the BHA folk, the people that weren't actually on a registered list, like the number of bodies was probably close to 70 people at the event.
Wives and kids.
Yeah, which we don't count them on the, like, we're not charging for children or anything like that. So, yeah, the number of human bodies there was definitely well into the 70s.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah.
And for the most part, the weather held, which was good.
Yeah, we got the small tail end of that system for a little bit, which cleared everyone out, allowed us to clean up, and then that's when we got to go out and have some fun on our own, which was cool. I was thinking if it didn't let up, we were just going to all bail, but it did. So it was nice. It's my favorite part of that event every single year is hanging out with like our core crew and a couple bolt-ons at the end and just shooting the course, having a good time. So
I still don't think we've ever finished a course because it gets too dark.
Too dark, or like someone's got to go with their kids. Something's always going on. Usually it's Penny's birthday around that time for Derek, so he can't stay, or it's always something. But
either way, good time.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, speaking of archery though, like I think this is a good time to talk about. Hi, Joy. I see in the comments there. Thanks for the comment. Good to see you in there. You're probably watching my kids right now. I think. Dude, that wax smell's getting a little strong in here. That froofy smell.
Oh, yeah. I'm just smelling garbage from work.
My eyes are watering. It's too much.
Aww.
Maybe it's the bourbon. So I want to talk to you about the fact that you do a lot of league 3D archery shooting. I think you're a really great shot. You might be humble about it, but there's no, like, you're really fucking good, in my opinion. So take that for what it's worth. But you had a procedure at some point on your shoulder, back, and had to redo some things. I've had no procedure other than I had injured my shoulder last year, but I am trying to relearn things just to make improvements. So I want to talk about archery form and what that procedure is like for you and how that impacted your form and what you can share with our audience about archery form, because there's a lot of mechanics to know at like the core baseline. And if you think about it too much, you know, I play pool better when I have a couple beers in me because I don't second guess every shot.
It's overwhelming.
I can't drink and shoot my bow though, so I got to get the fundamentals down.
It's frowned upon.
Yeah, for sure. So like, what if you had to distill it down to like how many things are the core things you need to figure out, like your anchor point, what your draw length is in relationship to your holding arm, like there's a lot of components. I want to hear your take on all of it. I'm not gonna.
You got to start with the basics. Like you got to make sure.
Which are,
and I'll go briefly over one of them. Is make sure your bow's set up properly. Like sighted in is one thing, but make sure everything is dialed in, everything's tight. Your arrows in their level. That's like first off, you're not going to shoot well if your bow's not shooting well, because you can only shoot as good as your bow shoots. So that's the first thing. We could come back to that in full circle. Or
do you, like, for me, I don't know what I don't know, and I certainly don't know much about setting up a bow. Like, I'm going to an archery shop.
Yeah.
Are they going to be mostly helpful at getting it tuned in for me, or just tuned in general, and then I got to work on it from there, usually?
If you get a good, solid bow shop, they'll tune it, like, for you.
Okay.
Like, they take the measurements, your, draw length, your how much poundage you can pull back, which is another thing. Don't try to be a hero. If you can't pull back 70 pounds, don't pull back 70 pounds. If 55 is comfortable for you, set your bow up for 55 pounds.
55.
55. And then, like I said, the big thing is making sure when you draw back, your arrow is completely level. The rest drops away in time. And then you're like, I don't know if they'll go into paper tuning.
I don't know any archery shops that do paper, but we do have that guy that we know, the paper tuner.
Mm-hmm.
So you could certainly practice in your basement or something like that and try that product out. But that's starting to...
That's the next level.
So that's like, 101 now or 102 because there's paper, bear shaft, knock, tuning.
Okay, well...
That's all Greg Tubbs stuff.
Yep, and he's not here. So.
And I don't do that stuff. I just say, Greg, help me.
I'll do the intro lesson. Greg can do the AP class.
But in terms of form, like getting your bow tuned for you...
Yep. Make sure everything's set up for you because you do not want to have yourself shoot better than your bow because then it's never going to work. You need to have your bow at 100% so that any mistake is you. It's not your bow. Once you get that dialed in, because then you can start working on proper mechanics and stuff like that.
And I think most of us have a good sense of like, if it's your bow, you're like, no, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Like something ain't right here.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tyler had some pretty significant issues with his bow last year when he missed a buck by like 6 feet to the right. But then I was like, did you shoot it after? And he's like, yeah, then I hit the target. I was like, well, I don't know what you did to fuck up that bad. I don't know what that could mean for you or your bow. But then we can talk about confidence too, because getting the reps in will give you the confidence to know whether or not it was you or your bow.
Yep. And so like, okay, we established bows 100%. Like you can't outshoot your bow. That's good. The next thing is practice your draw and your anchor point. Like smooth draw. I shoot a thumb release. Everybody's gonna be different. I don't know what you shoot, but
apparently what I shoot is for first graders.
Fingertips?
Like, is that a child's release? I was like, what? I don't know. It's a release I've had since I was a teenager. I guess maybe I'd get a new one. It does have a longer, like where it dangles from the wrist. It's a longer thing. I don't know if that's supposed to be or not, or what that's doing to my form. But
it all goes back to your draw length. So if that thing's longer, you draw back and you still have a solid anchor point every time. There's nothing wrong with that.
And what do you think about anchor points? Do you think like behind your ear, on your cheek, by your lip, by your what's common? I know it's different for everybody, but you want to have it be the same every time so you can repeat.
Every single time. That's why so I shoot a thumb release, so I'm a little different. I actually take my knuckle and go right in the corner of my mouth because that's how my bow is set up. And then I know every time it's in that same spot. My, strings resting right here on my cheek. Every single time you want to get that feel down. You want to make sure you're, dialed in, same repetitive motion, same spot every single time. And then from there, you kind of work forward. If you got most sites now have levels on. Make sure that thing's level every time. Kind of make a checklist going through.
I used to not pay that much attention to that. What is that going to do if I, let's just say it can be level, but if I have it tilted or cocked and it's off level, what is that doing to my shot?
Take your sight pin, say here's 20, 30, 40. And if you're sitting to the side, in theory,
you just dropped.
You could go left or right if you're twisted. It's, to be honest, not that big of a difference when you're 20 yards and closer. Sure. But the farther you get out, it's just a good habit to get into to make sure you're shooting. I
usually check, but in the moment, I'm wondering, like, if a deer's there, am I paying attention or am I not paying attention? I'm trying to think what I'm doing when that happens. I have all the time in the world to just get myself centered on a target.
But you want to practice that because it's all going to be feel then.
Yeah.
That repetitiveness, like when you draw back and you realize you're canting to the right. Or if you do that every single time, you're going to know, draw back and you're going to be, just do whatever you got to do. It's all about that repetition. You want to pull back every single time, make sure your anchor's good, make sure you're level. Like, it sounds so basic and simple, but you can't get good without
when your adrenaline glands are freaking letting all this adrenaline into your.
But again, this is what goes back to practicing beforehand. Once you get that, I mean, half the time I don't check my level anymore because when I draw back, like I shoot so much that boom, I'm always in that same motion. So like when you're in the heat of the moment and you're like, oh no, I can't think straight, natural muscle memory will just happen.
Okay, it's pretty cool.
Again, I'm no expert.
So I've been on this a little bit of a journey. I had posted some sort of clip and I just, put some words over the screen of me shooting my bow. And the whole thing was about like, just shoot your bow so you can get your reps in. Like that was the thesis. And in doing so, it was just me just lobbing off a quick shot. And I hadn't shot my bow a bunch, but I was like, it's not really super on. But then I had a lot of commentary about like, we shouldn't be wearing Crocs.
I got Crocs with socks on right now.
You want a good foundation, you better not be wearing Crocs apparently. No, but they're like, your anchor point's off, you're punching the trigger, like it was all sorts of craziness. So I was like, well, let's work on it. Let's use all this negative bullshit and actually try to like, do some good for the community. Yeah. I likened it to the, if you're in class or whatever, some kid raises his hand and everyone's thinking the question, but like only one person's going to raise their hand and everyone's like, thank God that guy asked the question because I had the same question, but I wasn't going to raise my hand. I think we've all been there. Yeah. Maybe on both ends of that spectrum, but I was like, well, if I'm failing at all this shit, I bet you a lot of people are. And like me, I didn't realize it or don't know it because you don't know what you don't know. I was like, well, let's ask the internet to crowdsource my archery form for the season. And it kind of worked. We got a lot of great stuff. There's a lot of shit stuff, but then from that second one, a lot more constructive feedback came through. And I was like, let's try to apply some of these things. So I did another video of me applying it. I'm like happy to be going through the journey, but there's a lot of things to like think about inside of such a short amount of time that it's like, how do you, the muscle memory thing over time, if you think you'll just start to get it. But the trigger punching thing was another one. So like, I mean, I'm supposed to do that.
You're not supposed to trigger punch because it's a little less like predictable. You want to like keep a little bit of pressure and then you almost want it to surprise you. Like once you're holding, you just slow. And then you almost, not like you twitch, but like, it's like the back tension releases. You pull, and then you kind of know when it's going to let go, but you're not 100% sure. But like, you just got to like, I'm trying to think of the best way to say it.
You don't want to flinch the trigger.
Yeah.
Because if you flinch, just like a gun, like
that little 16th of an inch here reflects a yard or 6 inches at 20 or 30,
So there's some back and forth on that with the back tension. It's kind of like, no, I want control of when I'm going to release the trigger. Like if I'm in 3D archery and I'm in some sort of like archery contest or tournament, like it's different. But I'm shooting a live animal. Like I want to pull the trigger when I want to pull the trigger. Yeah. I think, but punching, it's different than squeezing through like a squirt gun.
Yep. Yeah. So that's actually a good way to think about it is, I mean, you could also punch a squirt gun trigger, but you know, if you want, you just want that slow, and again, it's all muscle memory. You start doing the slow, you realize a second into the pull, if you do it the same every time, that's when it pops off. Or mine, it's a thumb. So I roll my finger on that release, the little knurl, and I know once I get to like almost the tip of my thumb, that's when it fires. Again, it comes back to all muscle memory, so you don't have to think about it while you're in the woods, while your adrenaline's cranking, while you're seeing stars, like most of us do when deer
black out. Yeah. And then even like trigger sensitivity is a thing.
Yep.
So I have a friend, Chris, who is just getting into this journey, which is wild to me because he dove in deep fast. I don't know if you met him at the shoot. He was hanging out with us at the end there. He's like sending me freaking photos of him cutting his own carbon arrows. I'm like, this is day one, bro. Like, whoa, I've never done that. Like I used to fletch my own arrows for a hot minute there. And that was like a fun process, but I was usually like drinking beer, playing video games. And they're just on the coffee table. And I was doing my thing. Cause I was a bachelor living with my buddies. Like it was fine. I was never cutting carbon arrows. And then he's tying his own knot for his peep sight because it was moving on him. And I was like, he had the terminology down because he'd watched them. And I was like, dude, you're further than I am. And you're only like a couple days in. Holy shit.
YouTube's awesome sometimes.
Apparently.
You get a lot of good info from YouTube, but you can also get a lot of misleading. You
can also start at the end of the spectrum versus the beginning and not know it. Like they'd be like walking to a 201 course versus a 101 course and be like, oh shit, I was supposed to start at 101, but I guess here I am.
I like to, so I'm a mechanic by trade, and I always like throwing this in there. When I was getting trained on how to do like engine rebuild jobs, the guy who trained me told me how to do it step by step properly, like through and through. And I'm like, well, I know if I can just cheat and kind of miss these two bolts and we pull the whole thing off together. Trust me, it comes full circle. It'll make sense. So he goes, nope, you're going to do it step by step by the book. So I did step by step. It took an extra 2 hours than it normally should have. I got it back together. And I asked him, why did you teach me how to do it step by step? He goes, because if you cheat and you fuck up, now you know how to fix it. So you don't want to jump ahead and only learn the jump ahead, because when you run into problems, you don't know what you're doing because you don't know the basics. I thought that was a cool little anecdote thing.
Yeah, it's like, just give me the answer. Well, you got to show your work so you know where to fix it.
Yep.
You can't just arrive at the conclusion.
And that's why I sound boring teaching the 101 class is it's repetition. It's finding that solid anchor point. I don't care where you hit on the target yet. Just everything has to be consistent. Everything has to be the same. And that's how, that's how you get better.
Yeah, you start to see some of those, I don't know, like I'm down and to the right by 6 inches. Well, on a real deer, that's going to make a big deal. I mean, it should still be remotely dead, but they duck the arrow, they quarter and turn.
They do deer things.
Yeah, suddenly you're like, what just happened? Or you shoot high and you go right over their back. Like we've all, I know that's been hunting for some period of time, has experienced something like this. And if you haven't yet, it's not because you're that good. It's because it hasn't gone crazy yet. It's going to happen. I had my first vat of all this, and we'll get to that part later, but last season, which everyone's going to see soon enough too, and when we release our film or whatever, or our like footage from last year. But talk about the procedure you'd gone through and what you had to fundamentally change or learn, relearn, do different. What was that like for you?
Sure. So this was many, many moons ago. I had 3 back surgeries, and before that, I wasn't a great shot. Okay. I mean, I would hit the target. I, self-taught myself. Kind of what I described you don't want to do is, oh yeah, this is how you do it, but you never actually went through the basics. So I was consistently inconsistent. Good enough to kill some deer, sure. Good enough to miss some deer. Then I had back surgery, 3 of them. After that, that was back when you had to get a crossbow permit. Like you couldn't just buy one and go hunting with a crossbow. My doctor's like, I already signed the paperwork for you, for the crossbow permit, because you're never going to be able to shoot your bow again. And I'm like, challenge accepted. And I focused on normal things like learning how to walk again and doing all normal things. But I was with an awesome therapist, and she's like, what are the 3 things you want to do? She says, I want a somewhat normal life. I want to go back to work, and I want to shoot my bow. And she goes, why do you want to shoot your bow? I'm like, I want to prove my doctor wrong. Like that was my main motivation. So after a while of therapy, she actually told me to bring my bow back in and focused more on drawing the bow back without re-injuring my back. So it was like,
that's actually like, I could just start sweating thinking about it. Cause like, it's scary that you're like, ooh, should I do this or not? Like, is this a decision that I'm going to regret in about 4 seconds when I go back to square one or not? Like that in and of itself, that's scary.
And it's like, what always freaks me out is the people who are like really overly like motioned, like tip really far forward, do like the big exaggerate. You don't need to do that. To me, if you're doing that, you're drawing too much weight back, and you have to put so much more muscle into pulling it back, not just like your shoulder and your arm and your back muscles, pulling it across. So like what she taught me was start down, you keep everything straight, you tip your shoulder and you draw back and just pull up instead of doing the big,
I heard to start, I'll change the camera view to start up top and use your lat.
Your lat,
and use your lat to pull down, and then your bicep right at the end if you need to. And oddly enough, learning how to do pull-ups, it was use your lats. That'll bring you all the way up to the bar, and you have to like think about, okay, if I think about my lats, that's what I would use. And I could bang out 14 pull-ups, and then I would use my biceps, these tiny little things at the end, and I'd get a couple more. And so the video that I'd posted was like, you're just using your biceps, dude. You're going to burn out. And if you're just hitting like hunting and you're just trying to pull back on one deer, so it doesn't matter.
Yep.
But if you're doing reps in your yard or at a shoot, you're going to burn yourself out, man. And then
you'll be sore. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I tried, and I was like, I know how to engage that muscle, and it does feel different.
And then see, this is where it's not a one size fits all thing. I don't personally like to draw back like this, because if something happens,
you fling an arrow into.
I don't want to fling a arrow into
the sky,
infinity and beyond.
I kind of wanted to do it once in my life to see where it goes.
It's fun, dude. Like we did it up north. Nobody was around. Big tract.
Do it into a lake or something if you wanted to too.
Yeah. Put a Luminoc on it, and just those things go really far. They go really far.
You went more than 100 yards.
Oh Yeah. You can make a 100-yard shot now.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. They probably go 300-400 yards, maybe.
Yeah.
That was back 20 years ago when we had not the best archery equipment
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
But no, back to drawing back. It's
We're not even drinking rabbit hole bourbon.
maybe we should. No, it's just, it comes back to, again, your personal preference. Like if you've had shoulder injuries, nobody on the internet knows that.
Yep.
So they're going to rip on you because you're doing something a little different. I've had 3 back surgeries. I draw my bow back my way. It works for me just as long as you stay consistent.
What is your poundage, by the way? Are you doing 70?
Yeah, 70 or 75. I can't remember.
70. So that's the other thing too. And this may be, I don't know if this is like cutting in at an odd spot, but I was today years old when I learned that your bow should be maxed out. I'll get to the point here, but I'm like regurgitating other information. Your bow will perform at its optimal performance level when it's maxed out. So then the logic is if you can't pull back, if your bow maxes out at 70 pounds, you could crank it down to 65 or 60, but you're going to lose some performance out of your bow. So then the logic is to go get a bow that maxes out at 60 or 65 so it can be topped out and perform better.
Yep.
Like, I didn't know that.
100% agree with it. And that's where it comes down to, don't be a hero. Don't be like, oh, I draw back 90 pounds. It doesn't matter. You can kill a deer with a 40-pound drawback bow. As long as you're consistent and you can put the arrow where it needs to go, you could shoot 40 pounds. Me and you could shoot 50 pounds and kill deer.
Yeah.
That's what boggles my mind. Like everybody's like, oh, I draw back 70. I draw back 80. I don't really know what my bow is. I just draw back and it's comfortable and I can do it when it's freezing cold out. And that's another
That's
thing.
the other thing. Like, like doing it, you do have adrenaline on your side drawing back in a deer. Like, I think I drew back in some pretty fucking weird ways. I'm like, and like I don't even know how I did that, but here we are. And I'm like, heaven forbid I let this thing down right now because it's going to be wild.
It's to try to do it without them seeing. So you're just like,
Yeah, I almost like feel like I'm separating something. Like that's not how I draw back when I'm just shooting. I'm not separating the bow from the string. I just am like all string. But I'm drawing back on the deer. I'm like definitely working both ends of it. It felt like.
oh yeah, because usually you want it like as quick as you can.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm just not going to move. And if I move both hands at the same time, it'll look like nothing's happening. But also like, holy shit, how did I just do that? You know, totally different outcome than if I'm just shooting here or wherever.
Yeah, I mean, basic things like it kind of circles back to repetition, muscle memory, and to me that helps you in that moment of panic.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a deer coming in, your brain's only thinking about deer. It's just muscle memory.
Yeah. So then, I don't know, people talk about, you're not doing any of the fundamentals. I'm like, I don't know that I ever learned the fundamentals. I don't know that someone ever taught me the fundamentals. What are the fundamentals and how should I go about learning them? So like you said, everything before back surgery, you're just doing what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And that, like you said, that can work. And I think the more you practice, the more you'll get comfortable with what works for you. Derek talked about, he switched up he had a different eye dominance. So he switched from a right-handed bow to a left-handed bow. I think that's the direction it went, right?
Yeah, he's left.
You would know, because like you guys, I saw you shooting, you're both, it's like two guys eating at the dinner table, like opposite hands.
Or when we're shooting league, we're looking right at each other as we draw back.
In your eye, bitch. But he's like, well, then I got way better because I was using the proper eye, but he had to like relearn some mechanics because it was opposite of what you would expect.
Yeah, it's different.
That feels like I wouldn't want to learn all that. I'm one of those guys that would probably just give up. Like if someone said, you got to shoot with this hand, I'd be like, I'm out. You think I'm going to pull back with my left hand? Are you fucking high? Like that's not going to work.
Tag me out.
Like I couldn't imagine switching like that. That'd be really tough.
But it works. I mean,
even with the rifle, I'm like, what would you do? I don't think my left shoulder could take a hit with the gun stuck.
You're right. Once it's got calluses built up on it.
I'm like, oh, can we be done now?
Can I shoot a 22?
Can I shoot in the shoulder anyways? Yeah, Elijah just commented, I did not know that either. This is the thing. So then why are people so damn... I explained it when you got here. It's like the fat kid or the fat guy at the gym is getting shit on for being at the gym and being fat.
He's a dude you celebrate.
Like he's literally at the gym. That should be celebrated. You shouldn't be ripping on someone putting in reps with their bow. If they're not doing it right, then teach them nicely. And I'm not saying I'm some sort of pansy I think I can handle it. But like, you don't have to make someone's life harder. My life is hard enough as it is. Let me tell you, I'm Polish. Okay. Like
Same.
it doesn't go well for me. I don't need you making it harder. And you don't have to be a dick. People don't have to be a dick about it. If someone's doing something wrong, like, hey, look, if you're blunt or a rough around the edges kind of guy or gal, hey, you're doing this wrong. Here's what I would recommend. Like, you could still deliver that with some teeth and it's okay. But if you start leading with like, your IQ must be low because you're wearing Crocs and socks, I'm wondering about your IQ.
Yeah.
Because you used the wrong your. But I'm not so petty. I'm going to pick out your grammar.
Spell check.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Like, to me, you want everybody to be better. Another thing of growing in archery is shooting around people who are better than you.
Yeah.
Because you learn so much, and maybe not even by saying anything, just watching them.
Yeah.
Like picking up little things like that.
Well, I know I talked before I hit record about this is not related necessarily. I'm going to make it, but disc golfing, I was like really good one way. And then I was like just ignoring a whole other shot style completely, the over body, whatever, like how you throw a real frisbee. I couldn't control that one at all. And so I spent the time to dedicate to learn towards it. And it sucked because all my friends were still shooting really good. And here I was just not doing well at all. But I'd committed to like, I'm going to take a step back to take a couple steps forward. And by the time I got through that process, I mastered a new shot. Now I had 2 that I was good at. And then I could outplay everybody that I was playing, except for like a couple buddies that were really good. But I was like, sometimes you have to suck to get better. And I feel like that's where I'm at with archery at this particular moment, because I'm like, oh, I should probably learn form. Now that I'm learning form, I'm like not confident there because I don't have all those reps in yet, but I am trying to get better. So hopefully I'll end up at a place where I'm much better than I ever was.
But it's all you can strive for. I mean,
yeah.
And you're willing to learn. That's the other thing.
Yeah, it's hard to. We have a caller, actually. Bear with me, folks, because I do not know if you'll be able to hear our caller live. And if not, I'm sorry. But just know that you'll hear our caller in post-production in podcast line. If it doesn't work, you and I will be able to hear him. I know that much. I just don't know if our live audience will, because we got a lot of new stuff going on. And if it's Skype's fault, it's Microsoft's fault. So if that's why it's not working, we can blame Microsoft. Okay. I think no one will have a problem with that. Dustin, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Eric. How you doing?
Good. Matt, you hear him?
Yep, I hear him.
All right. I don't know if our audience can hear you. We'll find out. But for now, we can hear you, and that's what matters for the moment. Good to hear from you, man. Have you called in before?
Yeah, one time, a year ago.
So for those that don't know, Dustin's with White River Rambo, which has a really strong following and a great demeanor on TikTok and Instagram. But glad to hear you calling into the show, man. And I know you're doing some archery stuff with your channel, so I'm glad to hear from you.
Yep, and I've been keeping up with your struggles as well.
Struggles, yeah.
And just wanted to comment a little bit on, everybody's kind of in that boat, right? I wish I could be better. I wish I could figure this out. I come home from work, I shoot my bow. There's nobody to ask. What do I do? And so I just wanted to kind of touch that everyone has a cell phone. Get yourself a little tripod, set it up, start recording your archery sessions. And every time you go out to practice something different. The worst thing you can do is shoot the whole bucket of balls with your driver and just grip it and rip it and not learn anything. But if you take the time to, okay, these 2 or 3 arrows, I'm really going to focus on my grip of the bow. Or the next time I'm really going to focus on burying the knuckle up underneath my earlobe, or I'm really going to focus on making sure that my peep sight is centered on my sight housing. And, by the time you go through 30, 40 arrows, whatever you shoot, you actually get more out of archery every single time. And it's absolutely it's a journey. Like, it's not going to happen overnight.
Talk about that a little bit more. Like, pick a thing. Like, what? So if I was going to pick something, what would you like? Not me personally or whatever specifically, but like you talk like pick your peep sight or pick what are some of the things that you could focus on exclusively that you had just mentioned?
So for me, I am a command shooter. I don't hide that whatsoever. And I have to get comfortable looking through the sight housing and letting that pin float back and forth, and making sure when I do take, the initiative to shoot, that I'm consistent in that. I have to be comfortable. Everybody has their own level of target panic, and shooting with a surprise is a thing, and it is possible, but you have to have so much discipline to do that. I think there's a lot more people out there that command shoot and do it well, that are afraid to talk about it. But whatever's working, don't change it. I mean, obviously there's all kinds of creators and personalities that you can follow and geek over and love what they do. And you can try all those things in your archery sessions. But man, whatever's working for you, roll with it.
Yeah, that's important. If it's working for you, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? Especially if you, confidence, I think, is a big thing. You have to have confidence in yourself and in your equipment. And those two things are important. You think with the military, like they try to make you fully have confidence in your gear by putting you and your gear through strenuous situations, and confidence in yourself because you've done all the training all the damn time. So like, if you don't have that kind of confidence, you're going to draw back on a deer and you've already missed before you even taken the shot because you don't have confidence in what you're doing because you haven't A, put in the reps, or B, you haven't practiced enough. So like, you either don't trust your bow because you haven't spent enough time with it, or you don't trust yourself because you haven't spent enough time with it. Like, I think the more of these reps you get in, the more that confidence builds up. And that's why I like 3D actually, because it puts you in not real life scenarios, but more realistic. You're shooting through foliage, you're shooting at angles, you're shooting at something that looks like a damn animal, like typically a deer.
Yeah. And you're going for sometimes a 10 and 12 ring are in the right spot, but most of the time when we shoot, you're going for that kill shot. Would you be happy with that shot on an animal in the woods?
Oh, I agree. I love 3D, but I also hate 3D because there has to be a disconnect between 3D and hunting, because scoring 3D and going hunting are completely different.
I agree 100% on that.
Yeah, very different, but a good place to get some solid experience for sure.
Anyway, I just wanted to holler and tell you keep up the good work. If you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. And for those who are out there and you kind of get overwhelmed, man, go to your local archery shop, reach out and ask somebody a question, because it is a solitary thing when you're up against the wall and you can't figure out what's wrong, and you're not being able to hold the tight group that you want and all that. And I mean, the best way to make yourself better is surround yourself with people that know better than you are. So, I'll just leave you all with that, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's good. Thank you. And good to hear you calling into the show. We'll have to hear from you we hear from you on social, which is great, but calling into the show is always super fun. And I'm glad to see that you're tuned in and listening. And for those listening live, I apologize. They couldn't hear you, as it turns out, live. But if you want to hear what Dustin had to say, you can check out the podcast, and wherever you get podcasts. I produce the same night we record. So this will be live in podcast land in like a couple hours. So I don't know how to fix that. I'm not sure what the deal is. It should work, but technology is a total nightmare. And again, blame Microsoft. So that's the problem. Dustin, thanks for calling, buddy.
Yes, sir. I'll see you later.
Have a good one. I don't know how to fix that. We had to do this weird use Skype to call into our thing, and that somehow fixed it. But then they deprecated Skype, and I had a dedicated phone number through Skype. It was a whole thing, and now I don't know what to do because it's making me use Teams, and I hate Teams. I hate it deeply. And it never does what it needs to. I'm really frustrated about it. I don't want all the stuff. I just want a calling thing. I don't want Teams. I just want to be able to make a phone call from my computer.
Yeah. Technology.
I could Bluetooth my phone and figure something. Maybe I should do that. But then it requires me to test things with people in real-time environments.
Have them call your personal phone. I can just hold it up to the mic.
I can Bluetooth my phone to this mixer.
Yeah.
So I almost wonder if I call my phone into the call-in studio. Then here's the thing that I gotta like think through all the implications and what'll happen. Like I get these ideas and I gotta test them out. So anyway, sorry guys and gals for that. It is what it is, but I promise you can listen to it in post because I record to the mixer that you see in the table here. This mixer has all the raw audio coming through, and I can see our caller's levels here. So everything in theory should become, every sound effect you hear, like all that music, all that stuff comes through. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to hear a caller coming through either. I don't understand. It's the dumbest thing.
I can't help you with that part of it.
No, that's okay. This is my nightmare.
This is my nightmare.
That's like the best scene ever.
That's the one who's got the goose egg on his shin.
Yeah. This is my nightmare. It was pretty bad. Yeah. Brought the wives golfing. He's like, I don't want to do that. And then it happens. It's terrible. Well, I mean, that's all good stuff. So to kind of go into the next, 15 minutes left of segment here is Broadheads. And I don't want to, this is not to get people fired up. This is not controversy. I'm not trying to make it controversial, I should say. But I do wonder, I'm going to quote the comment that came through on our IG now that I left it on my phone. It's gone. But I did pin it to the top. So someone had said, what did they say? I'll change the camera angle here. So they said, in reference to broadheads, whether it's fixed or mechanical or whatever, the result of margin, or the margin of human error greatly surpasses any margin of error in any broadheads. I needed to hear that said that way. They went on to say, so basically you'll mess up a shot before a broadhead will. The broadhead is just your whipping boy. It can only compensate so much for, I don't want to say bad shot, but our misgivings as archers. Like we talked about target panic, punching the trigger, what was it called when you canting the bow. Maybe you got your anchor point wrong because now you're shooting with gloves and underlayers and a lot. You should probably practice that way too. Good luck in the heat right now, but that's, I know my wrist strap can only go on so much more when I have layers on. And so that probably does mess up where it rests on my arm. If it's closer to my hand versus up my arm a little bit more, that shortens or lengthens the distance of where it's grabbing on. There's a lot of variables there that could mess things up. And therefore your broadhead could be amazing or not amazing. But if you don't put the shot where it's supposed to go, it can only do so much to make up for that difference in shot placement. So the best thing you could do regardless of broadhead is make sure whatever it is you're shooting goes where it's supposed to go. And you've got all these fundamentals down, and then you can repeat as much as possible, knowing that in nature, you're like best friends with Murphy's Law on that tree stand because anything that can go wrong will go wrong when that deer's coming through. And that's why it's always such a great reward when it goes right, because everything had to go right for you to kill the deer. So what I will say is, for the first time ever, I'm having a broadhead crisis.
Is there a hotline for that?
Yeah, the broadhead crisis hotline. I shot 2 deer last year. I recovered one, didn't recover the other. The other was going to live. So some say that I should have just punched my tag on the first deer that I didn't recover. I hadn't thought of that. That's actually not a bad idea. Maybe I'll do that. And I damn near about did, because I was going to give up for the season. And then everyone's like, no, you got to get back out there. So I did, and I got a deer. And the blood trail was terrible. And shame on me maybe for a high shot, but I was shooting from the ground. So a little bit different than what I'm normally doing at a stand. I feel like those shots would end up lower than normal because then you got to bend the hips. There's a whole other freaking thing that you need to account for. And so now those were fixed blade without bleeders. They're sharp. They're good. They did what they went where they were supposed to go, but trailing that deer, all of a sudden I got the sinking feeling in my stomach again. I was like, oh no, it's happened again. You've got to be kidding me. This can't be real life. I found the deer all by happenstance, that I just happened to see its eye reflecting from the ground at dark and was able to retrieve it. But for those last 20 or so yards between my last speck of blood that I was standing at and where the deer was, there was no more blood. And now this year I'm like, well, geez, what should I do now? So I don't know. I'm looking at Kudu Point. A buddy works there, and I think they have a good reputation. I'm willing to try them out. Try them out is relative because trying them out just means I'll shoot it and it'll hit the target, the block that I'm aiming at.
Yeah.
I also, method archery is now contact archery, and those broadheads that I use then still exist now, the variable broadhead system.
The VBS.
I still have those. I like what those did to this deer hanging above me. There was a bloody mess. It was also a lethal shot, but so two things worked out for me. But there was no not trailing this deer, even after I crossed a river at freaking
5-gallon bucket.
Yeah, but maybe that would be the case. It was breathing heavy, but so now I'm like asking around, like, what do people like? What do people use? And I think it's pretty 50-50. 50% of people love their mechanicals for whatever reason, and the other 50% love their, it's not down the middle. And I know Tracker, the Shane Simpson dude, has compiled a lot of data from dog tracking about what broadhead was used. I don't remember what his data has told people based on deer that were recovered versus not recovered, and what broadhead they were using. And I know Isaac, when he was doing method archery, had a website called Data Kills, and he was logging.
You could log.
And I think he was trying to get to a similar assessment of what broadhead did you use? Did you have a blood trail? Did you recover the deer or not? Trying to get some data around what is working holistically. Everyone's different.
Yep.
But I'm now in the spot where I'm wondering, should I be considering something different?
I mean, again, it all goes back to shot placement, like you said. I don't like that when broadhead companies oh, it's got great forgiveness. It's yeah, okay. How much is that?
It's you're buying a broadhead to give you a handicap.
Yeah, you should. You think back to the old days when they used long bows and carved their own or flinted their own.
Killed things.
Napped them.
You got to get Boyer on to talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not that person. So, but used to make their own stuff. I mean, it was no more than 3/4 of an inch, and they were knocking down bison or deer or whatever. It's all about shot placement. But if you want that little bit of forgiveness, sure. I used to shoot expandables all the time. I loved them. I got so much crap from all my friends because I shot them. It's oh yeah, you're just, every time you shoot it, you kill something. It's yeah, because I always hit it where I need to hit it. But I stopped shooting those. I would love to keep shooting them. I hunt from the ground 90% of the time. So hunting from the ground, those expandables for me were not great. They get hung up in branches and grass and stuff like that.
They're opening before they get to the target?
They're opening before I draw my bow back. But that's just the situation I put myself in. That's why I switched to single bevel.
What did you do in that? So you're a full draw. You're looking down your peep sight. No, the peripheral. You see a freaking broadhead.
Gotta let down. It does not fly the same.
So then you had to just not take shots. Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's
after
rough.
doing that 1 or 2 times, it made the decision.
So you was just hitting stuff?
That's the only reason why I switched. If I was a tree stand hunter, I'd still be running expandable. I like what they do. It almost makes a unsealable wound.
Mm-hmm. That's what happened to me. It was just, it closed back up, I think.
Yeah. And I've had the last buck I shot was with Iron Will single bevel.
I've used Iron Wills. I think I shot one deer with it and then I didn't recover her. But it was very confusing.
And it was strange. I wish I would have, I was very in the moment. I watched the deer go down, so I didn't pay attention to the blood, but I didn't see a lot of blood come out. Mm-hmm. And I shot that deer at 3 yards on the ground. My entrance hole was lower than my exit hole because deer's standing a little bit taller than I was. And I didn't look the best because when you watch them tip over, you're not going to follow a blood trail. You're going to go right to the deer.
Yeah.
But I don't remember seeing a lot of blood.
That happened to my dad. So he's using, I think the Stinger. What's that one that? The
Magnus?
Yeah.
Stinger Magnus.
I think that's what he's using on a nice deer that he had shot the year we both got nice bucks, which is a photo that
that was super.
That's the only photo cool. That I can't believe we got that. But it was no blood trail. He just happened to get to where the deer died, and so he was kind of worried. He's I don't know if I got it because there's no blood, but it's effective at killing. But if you can't get to it, then I wonder there's this balancing act that occurs where you want a dead deer. That's what you want. But now I would argue with the drones and the tracking dogs and all the other stuff that exists, if you can use a drone for drone recovery, if you get a dead deer, you throw a drone, you'll find it like that. Mm-hmm. Do you want to be spending $300 to $600 on a drone?
Yeah.
Or do you want to but if you get a blood trail and the deer doesn't die, that doesn't do you any good either. So like, it's just this weird give and take. You're kind of giving up. But again, shot placement matters, but it's just knowing that you're never going to always get the exact shot placement you're aiming for, because shit can get weird.
Yeah. I mean, you can get your...
How many times there's a twig you don't see, you know?
And like, you know, going back to 3D, the 12 ring is what, 1.5 inches?
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, a 12 ring on a real deer is probably a small, like, cake pie plate or whatever, like the small one you get a piece of cake on. That's the kill zone, so you got a little bit to go with. But then you look back at, I remember that tracking study from the dog tracker guy, is he shows, like, where they were hitting in the back. Like, if you have a really bad shot, there's still big arteries and stuff back there. Not saying you should aim for there.
Yeah.
But, like, there's potential everywhere. And I think that's where maybe the expandables kind of got their forgiveness thing from, because they might have done scientific measurements and stuff. But, if you miss back here and it's this wide of a cut, there's a good chance you're going to hit this one. To me, that breeds lazy hunters. I don't want to say that in a mean way.
The other thing, too, like, is that from, and this is, I don't know this to be true, so please, folks, like, don't beat me up here, but I think the fixed blades can fly really accurately. I've not had an issue with them not hitting their mark, because I do shoot before I shoot, or before I go out to hunt. I'll shoot a lob a cold shot and like, okay, this is going where I need to go. But it's my understanding, whether this is marketing or actual stuff, I'm not sure, that expandable will fly more like a field tip.
They do.
Because there's less drag, because it is more like a field tip. So then the argument becomes, well, if I'm supposed to be putting an accurate shot on a deer, shit, that might be enough as it is. And then I'm getting the extra out of it. Like, I'm starting to feel like compelled to want to shoot an expandable. Which one is a different question. I don't know.
That's a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah. And there's a lot on the market. There's so much. But some people do say they swear by them, just like people swear by the fixed blades. I like fixed blades conceptually because there's less that can go wrong.
100%.
I'm like a manual windows kind of guy in the car. Like, they're not going to break if I do it myself. But if the battery dies out, I'm stuck in this damn car, you know, or whatever. If this motor dies on the thing, or more can go wrong.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I'm vibrating in the middle right now. Like, I don't know what to do.
And I think also keep in mind, because I've shot both and I've never had to re-sight in. I wouldn't never had to adjust my sights on an expandable. I always have to adjust my sights on a fixed blade, especially single bevels. I shoot 4 fletchings now, because the 3 fletchings, I would have to thread them onto each arrow to see how they lined up. Kind of like when you used to do the old muzzies back in the day.
Yeah.
And maybe that's me getting a little too crazy.
Because like, it would create a different level of drag to the...
Yep. Or it would, different level of drag where some shots would go low and to the left or low or high to the right. And you always got to, either way, if you shoot anything, if it comes with a practice tip or if it's a fixed blade, shoot it into a target, because there's a chance it may fly different. And that could be why you're missing shots.
Dude, I'd love to see, all these guys are doing slow-mo stuff with like arrows into the gelatin. Or slow-mo stuff to show like the spine. Like, the higher the spine, the more flex you get. So then you can see it out of the arrow, like gelatin around, like the pencil trick you could do. Yeah. Like, it looks like that. I'd like to see slow-mo from behind the archer, the path of the arrow, for something that you just talked about, like 4 fletch versus 3 fletch with single bevel, as an example, to see if it is going to like do one of these flanking things or zip that way or zip this way. If you can see that in slow motion real time down the straight line shot, like behind the arrow, that'd be fun to see. For anybody that has the tech, hey, Hunting Public, you guys are always doing tests at Ranch Fairy. Like, I don't know, somebody could do that.
That'd be cool.
It's not me. I don't have that equipment or the resourcing, but that'd be interesting.
We just talked to Ranch Fairy. I should have asked them.
Oh, yeah. Hey, let's see how they... Like, that's not a view that I've ever seen. And I haven't seen it under the context of what you're talking about specifically.
It's almost like a ballistic tail on, like, when you're watching long range shooting, where you bring the spotting scope out of focus so you can see the clear where your trail's going.
Yeah, the trail almost, yeah. But like, is the arrow just doing something that like, whoa, look at it. It wasn't, the shot was going to go where I was putting it, and then it did this.
And again, I am a decent shot. So I know when like my field tips, they hit where they're supposed to hit. And if I'm aiming the same spot with my broadheads and they're hitting 1.5 inches low, it's not me, it's the broadhead. And I've had it as simple as, so I number my arrows too, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll try every different combination. And 1 flies the like perfect. 2, I know flies pretty close. 3 and 4, those are the just in case.
Like your lumber at Home Depot, you're like looking down, you're like, that's fucked.
Yep, that's the Menards tree. But no, those are the ones I keep in the back of the quiver if I have to finish something off on the ground. Like I'm not confident with them because they're moving a little bit too much. Doesn't mean they're not useless. Or doesn't mean they're
It's like some odd double negative. It doesn't mean they're not useless. Doesn't mean they are useless.
Doesn't mean they are useless.
They're less effective.
They're less effective. Yes, and that's. I mean, you have to shoot your broadheads because there is a chance they're going to fly different.
Yeah, I mean, please, for the love of God, you can't just assume that shit's going to work because then you're going to shoot it and like something's going to happen. You're not going to know what the hell happened.
Yeah.
Did you mess up? Did your bow mess up? Did the deer move? Like now you've introduced all these other variables you have no confidence about. Mm-hmm. Like that's what I mean. And I think I've sent you guys in the group text like, oh, broadheads are on the money. Let's go. Like I'm heading out, and that's usually like the last thing I'll do. I'll lob the target block in the yard real quick, let it rip. Yep. And I'm like, okay, I feel good. Mm-hmm. And I like the cold shot. Like just
because that's real life.
Yeah. And then also it's kind of like gambling. Like I'm not going to place another bet. I just won. I'm not going to set myself down some spiral before I leave. Now, if the first one's bad, then I got to improve. If the first one's good, I'm not going the other direction. Like I'm out.
End on that high note.
Yeah, exactly. And everything was good when I left, man. Like I shot that arrow, it was perfect. Little I know that shot probably messed something up. Yeah. That's interesting. We did have a question in here. The Unspoiled Hunter asked, question for you all to discuss. I've been able to figure out how to find bedding areas. They are extremely dense thickets where most humans can't even physically get into. But what are you looking at on the ground to identify an exact bedding spot?
He's not here today.
Derek isn't here. You want to ask Derek that question? I don't. I have a low confidence with bedding stuff. I have general thesis of the deer bed here. On the map, I know that I know they do. I've seen it. I know they're bedding in there. Specific beds, I have no clue.
I can get you within a half acre.
Yeah, like
that's about it.
And just I'll take a general theory of this is deer bedding. It's thick, like you're talking about. Not huntable usually. Like I'm not getting into setup in there. And if you could, good luck. Then I'm just making guesses on how can I enter and exit based on wind, and where do I think that these deer are traveling based on what? I don't know, does or food or I don't know.
The only thing you can be somewhat confident in this time of year, they're going to be within a small distance from food and water because it's hot out. They're not moving 500 yards to go find.
Well, right now there's a vast abundance of water and food.
So they might have moved, but not because they're no part. But no, they're going to go literally, they're going to wake up, go get food, go get water, go back to bed. It's just like again, bell curve, but there's a small little circle. That's why I love hunting early season just for that. Cause they're very patternable. If you see a buck in a soybean field with less than an hour left of light, that deer is within 200-300 yards of where you see him because they don't travel that far. Mm-hmm. That's the only tip I can.
I got to go get some permission to hunt some areas because I've been looking at some soybean fields and there are some nice bucks.
Yep. They love soybeans till probably the second week of season when they start turning yellow.
Yeah. Then it's, I don't know, corn's like a later season thing.
Yeah. Then I go muskie fishing.
That you do. Which, by the way, if we don't say it enough, check out the other podcasts on our network. Matt also hosts the Okayest Fisher podcast, which I think is really more than okay.
But it's okay.
Yeah. You can post some more content. I saw you get the Insta or whatever that is, the DJ. What do you use?
Yep.
DJI. You're putting a lot of content out with that thing lately.
Yeah. It's a real machine, like REEL. You just hit record and it's just like hours of content. It's great.
That's cool. Pretty easy to use and
super
export.
simple.
For how do you export? Is it just like
I just do Wi-Fi
remote?
on my phone.
Okay.
Which is like the lower quality, but if you're
it's for social, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. If you're looking at it like if we put it up on a TV, it probably wouldn't be that good. But then it's a mini SD card, plug it in your computer and go from there.
So you could do more if you wanted to from quality standpoint, but yeah.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of footage where you're like, it's like your Ring doorbell, boring. Ooh, this is funny.
Or it's like, I think it's boring now, and then in a couple months I'll go back to it like, yeah, that was kind of funny. That one out there.
That's cool. I dig it. Yeah, check those guys out. Had a blast at Foam Fest this year. Keep doing good work. That was Dylan. I think, Dylan, we talked about you in the beginning here. Oh, he said, just catch up on the podcast and heard the Nosler call out at the beginning. Yep, okay. Got the 308 trophy grade last year and got my biggest buck to date with it. And that, Dylan, you got to come in the studio here and tell that story alone. Like that, not alone, but like that story by itself. in and of itself is an incredible story. And I'm not going to say anything now because like maybe you will jump in here someday and share it. And I'll leave that to you to tell because it was you sharing with me at Foam Fest at the bar. And I was like, dude, what? I'm like, this could be a joke, but it's not. And I feel bad for you. I'll tell you after the podcast. It's intense. But then he got the Whitetail Country 308 for this year. So like he was the dude I was talking about. That's awesome. And I did get the name correct.
Good.
Which is not normal for me. So thanks for leaving a good positive impression there, Dylan. Yeah, I mean, it's a fun topic. Go shoot your bow, get your reps in. Who do you recommend following for like good core archery habits, tips, fundamentals, like Levi Morgan, or like who are some of the folks you can learn from?
You will laugh. I don't follow a lot of people.
Like if you're going to go on YouTube, is there anybody that comes to mind for you?
I mean,
like when you were learning?
I feel, well, when I was learning, there was no YouTube. So
YouTube's been around for a while.
I didn't know how to use YouTube.
It's like, you're not that old.
Who's the elk guy? Cam Haynes. I feel like he's a pretty solid shot. Like, and shows reps and everything like that. I mean, the hunting public do a pretty good job too.
Yeah.
Breaking down basics. But as for like fundamentals and stuff, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I don't know either. Don't talk to me about it. I'm learning right now. And we just posted an article on our website about a lot of the stuff. Will, one of our writers, put a good article together about shooting 3D. And we talked about that a little bit, how that can be helpful. When Dustin called with White River Rambo. That's it. I think, go shoot, like the working class bow hunter guys say. I'm not going to steal their phrase, but go shoot your bow. And although I just did, but I gave them credit. That's the point.
Trademark.
Yeah, right. Like, it ain't our saying. Our saying, I think over the weekend at Foam Fest, it was like, I think our slogan is Foam Fest. Saw the headline, "This ain't tack." I like that. Not tack. We're not here to do hardcore shit. We're just here to like hang out, and that's the point. It's simple by design. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it sounds like people had fun, so that's the point.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, good times. Shout out to Latitude also. I didn't get them a good call in the beginning, but like the Method 3 is out, and that new 2-panel system is, the design makes way more sense than the first version, which I was really unsure how that was going to go because I love the Method 2. The new one's better. The magnet system is way better because I've struggled with that in the past, like getting that to connect or whatever, because there's only 3 spots for it too, and I could never find it. So this can really be a single panel and feel like a true single panel and become a dual panel. And it's got a rope or like the am steel in between, which you think would be a drawback, but there's a lot of slack, more than you think, and that am steel that connects the two can also hold your sticks. So you get a little bit extra purpose out of it. And there's all this extra padding for comfort. So I've always expressed a lot of like for the Method 2 because of all day sits. You get more adjustability out of having 2 panels. So like as you're sitting, your pressure points start to like get fatigued, or, like in bed, you got to roll over to this side or that side because your muscles are getting too annoyed with the spring or the foam or where the hell it is. Like this allows you to adjust, and their new one has more comfort alongside that adjustability. So I think it's going to be a great system. That's what I'm going to be hunting out of this year. I'm really enthused about it. Check it out. All their stuff is quite amazing. These guys are in a class of their own, I think, and as far as their product dev, their R&D, their content, like their workmanship, these guys are at the top of their class and what they're doing. And I really enjoy working with them for that reason. So I got the fun shirt on tonight, actually. I'm repping the Latitude crew here. And the shirt actually makes me feel like the black takes all the fat out of the picture. So
is that why you gave me the blue one?
It's an Osler shirt. It's got moose antlers on it. You're like a moose.
I like it.
I think it's pretty fitting for you. And then Rack Hub, for those that don't know, they launched a new product, their Euro mount product, this week or last week, right before Foam Fest. And so ignore the metal thing that you see here. That's less of the point. The point is the mechanism here. So much like Rack Hub has, if you see by Matt here, that antler, if you're watching, that antler can come right off that ball bearing setup. So that thing can move and rotate and spin and turn and all this stuff. That same tech is now put into the ability to mount a Euro mount. And why I think that is great is you can tilt this thing down, which is normally how almost you see almost all of these things based on how you just put them on like a hook on the wall.
Yeah, flat on the.
But you can tilt it upwards and side to side. So it can be mounted on a corner. I don't know why you would do that, but there may be a reason for it. You can tilt it so it's looking left or right, kind of like the shoulder mounts do. But hopefully I don't make this look too difficult. With it, yeah, the TV is going to get in my way. But this is pretty straightforward. You just place it on here, and I know the TV is going to get in my way, and I'm going to make it look all awkward. But it is simple.
It's easier than it looks.
It's easier than it looks, folks. I swear. This is you got to find the hole. There it goes. There it goes. Nice and easy. I just had to get in there. But so that's how I have this one set up here. But obviously, you can go on the wall. New product, really great, and it works for elk too, which are really heavy. So there's an XL version that can support the weight. So there's a set screw in the back with an Allen wrench, so you can crank this thing down once you get the ball bearing in the direction that you want it to be, and then you're going to tighten it with that Allen wrench. This all comes in their packaging.
With instructions.
And instructions with a nice QR code and instruction videos and all that stuff. So shout out to Rack Hub because we just set 3 of them up outside the studio here. So when you walk in, you can see all 3 mounts hung up there. And what's cool is that each one of those mounts has a story behind it. And we tried to share that in a post to show that we kind of brought it to life. But Calder said, yes, I need to get that Euro mount bracket. Let's go. It's pretty dope, dude, really. I have other Euro mounts, but they're just fixed. There's no adjustability. It's you set it and that's kind of it. And if you were to adjust it, I feel like it's not going to be easy. So
all my Euro mounts are just on top of my office desk at home. So just laying there. It'd be cool to have something like that.
Lift it up. Yeah. Let's get you one.
Set it up.
Or a couple. I don't know how many you have.
3, 4.
Okay. So you have a few. It's pretty cool. That's all I got for today. Hopefully everyone enjoyed listening in. Hopefully you get some good archery fundamentals and practicing. And hopefully we didn't mess up your archery game. I'm trying to go down this journey and mine's totally kitty wampus right now. But I did crank up the poundage on my bow and it shoots vastly different. I had a shoulder injury last year on my left shoulder. I think I apparently trapped or some sort of nerve got stuck in my elbow. I don't know there's a term for it. Physical therapist did miracle work on me and my shoulder is healed. So then I cranked the poundage up at Foam Fest at the end and I was I can handle 70 pounds. And my bow just feels good. I'm going to rip a couple rounds off here if you want to stay and shoot some.
I brought my bow too.
Yes, we're going to go shoot our bow. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good night.
See you.